Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee. I'm going to do a long-term storage cooking video for you guys here today, and I'm going to do it on this guy right here, all-purpose flour. Now I know a lot of people put up wheat for their long-term storage, and wheat really is the best thing, but wheat you have to grind and it's a little bit more inconvenient if you want to use it in a hurry. But I've had good luck storing flour for up to about 5 years, and I haven't really had any issues. Flour eventually does go bad on you, sort of like oatmeal, so you do have to have it in your rotation. You just can't set it and forget it. But anyway, I'm going to turn the camera around here. I'm going to show you a few things on my counter, and I'm going to talk to you guys about a recipe that I literally grew up on, and it wasn't bread. When people think flour, they think bread, but one of the more common things that we use flour for when I was a kid growing up was spätzle, and I'm going to show you guys how to make that and go over the recipe for you guys here. Just stick around. All right, guys, I am going to go over flour here and how I put it up for long-term storage. I do it two different ways. You can dry can it and you can vacuum seal it. And dry canning it works, and it's a good technique, but it's a little bit more inconvenient and it takes a little bit longer because you got to get the jars around, you got to heat up the oven. And the other way that I do it is I vacuum seal it and in the original package, and I put it in the freezer for about a week. And they have one benefit of that is you basically now have a brick, so you can stack these on a shelf wherever it's convenient in a cool dry place. And I have done videos both on dry canning and putting flour up in that way. I will put links in the description for those videos for you guys, along with all my bread making videos that I have done. Of course, flour is the main ingredient in bread, but it wasn't the sort of the main way that flour was used when I was a kid growing up. Spätzle was used, and what spätzle is a it's basically a German drop noodle, and it's basically flour, an egg, a little bit of salt, and then either milk or water to make a stiff dough. Now, there's a couple different ways you can make it. One, you can make it with a contraption like this that looks like a basically a cheese grater, and there are several different ones of these that are out there. This is probably the most common one, but this isn't the most common way that spätzle was made when I was a kid. Spätzle was basically made with a spoon. It was stirred up, the dough was stirred up, and then spoonfuls were dropped into boiling water or boiling broth. When they were done, they float, they're taken off the top, drained, and then either a pat of butter put on, or then they were either fried in maybe a little butter with a little onions. You can do a dollop of sour cream. You can have it with gravy. You can have it in any way, shape, or form like that. Another way Mom and Grandma would make it is they would go out and they would get fresh herbs like chives, and they would cut them up and they would toss them with the spätzles when they were cooked. One thing, if you're using one of these spätzle makers here, is the dough has to be a little bit thinner when using this compared to the drop noodle. Now I'm going to start here with 2 cups of flour, an egg, and a teaspoon of kosher salt in my bowl, and then I'm going to add enough liquid to make a stiff dough, and then I'm going to get my water boiling here for you guys. And about the liquid. Now, I'm going to put a recipe in the description for you guys, but the liquid is sort of subjective. You can use water, you can use milk, and you don't want to add too much. If you're doing it with a spoon, sort of a drop noodle fashion, you want that dough to be a little bit stiffer. If it's too runny, you're going to have kind of misshapen and broken up spätzle. But if you're using a spätzle maker, you want that to be a little bit softer. Anyway, I'm going to get this mixed up for you guys, and we're going to get it in the water. Here is our spätzle dough all stirred up. You can see the consistency here. You don't want this too runny. Now, this was 2 cups of flour, 1 egg, teaspoon of kosher salt, and between 3/4 and a cup of milk that I added 1/4 cup at a time until I got it to this consistency. Now, if you want to put it through the spätzle maker, you would probably add another 1/4 cup or so of milk to this, so it would be runny enough to go through those holes. Well, my water is starting to boil here. We're going to get these in the water for you. All right, our water's boiling, or almost boiling, good enough. And we're going to take our metal spoon and we're going to dip it into our liquid. And then we are going to take a small portion of the dough, about that much, And then we're just going to stir that in the water. Now we're going to continue to do this until all the dough is in the water and it's boiling good. When they're done, they're going to float for you. This is what the spätzle looks like when it's done. One little family note that I want to add on here is Mom and Grandma could make these things so perfectly uniformed. They were literally all the perfect shape, and I always used to joke that they could calibrate instruments with how perfect and well-shapen the spätzles were. Mine aren't quite so nice what theirs were, but this is what they look like. And at this point, they pretty much tell you when they're done. When they float, you stir them through a couple of times during the cooking process. When they float like this, they are good to go. So these are ready to be strained now. Add a pat of butter, and you can go ahead and eat them. There is the spätzle drained, plated up with just a pat of butter and a sprinkle of salt. And now we're going to turn these guys around. We're going to give you a taste test. Here is the finished spätzle. Boy, does that bring back memories. Like I said, I literally grew up on these things. If we didn't have these things 4 days a week when I was a kid growing up, we didn't have them once. And it's just so simple. Eggs, a little liquid, flour, salt, a little boiling water. I can't think of a better meal side dish for a prepper than what spätzle is. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video here, me showing you one of my old recipes here, making the family's spätzles for all of you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you got a little information, a little entertainment out of it. I appreciate each and every one of you guys out there for watching my videos, and you guys have a good one.